This month I learned, man, this reading freedom thing, it's pretty dang cool. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another monthly wrap up, this time for January of 2022. So we were well on our way through this new year here. Well, guys, it was a very interesting month. Lots of ups and downs that we're going to talk about. Lots of new friends I've really encountered over the course of the last month. And it's because we've dipped into some new series, and we're going to kind of talk about those and a few surprises along the way. But we're going to begin like usual, guys. We're going to dip into what did I read in January. I read 5 books and 2 manga volumes. You might think, well, that's it. Well, I mean, there are some pretty beefy ones in there. I mean, we got to begin with the Dragon Bone Chair by Tad Williams. That is the newest read along on the channel. We are doing Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. We're doing one per month, and we're splitting that last book into 2 months, March and April, because it's so big. So we're doing kind of like they did in that original published release with it being in 2 paperbacks, kind of doing it that way. But yeah, that did take the bulk of the month, as that was the heavy read for the month. And if you've ever tried to read Tad Williams, you know, there really isn't anything you can binge. That's not a criticism. That's a good thing, I think. You know, you kind of want to take small bites so you can chew and digest what you're reading. It's something you need to take a little while and digest. And when he writes as beautifully as he does, it's quite easy to do. I did also pick up, this is that reading freedom thing I was talking about here, guys. So I got the opportunity to review an arc for Orbit of the Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. And at first I thought, I'm not going to have the time to do that. And then I remembered, oh yeah, you changed your schedule so you can have the freedom to do things like this. So I did go ahead and give that a shot this month. I'm glad I did, because it was really, really good. I'm going to be doing a review closer to the release. I think it's February 22nd is the official release for this book. So I'll be doing a full review about it before then. But I will say, guys, pre-order with confidence. I think you're going to like what Mr. Swan is bringing to the table with that series. Very, very original idea, and in a way that I really can't talk about without spoiling, but there's a lot of things about it that really just felt fresh and unique to me. It didn't just feel like a rehash of every, like 12th century Europe medieval fantasy story I've read. He actually does some new things that I'm really excited to see about where he takes it, and I would love to see you guys to go ahead and pick that up and talk with me about it, because I think you're going to like it quite a bit. And then I did a trilogy again this month. Last month I did the Godblind trilogy. This month I did the Nevernight trilogy by Jay Kristoff. This, of course, was Nevernight, God's Grave, and Dark Dawn. Did completely love all 3 of those. I feel like that series has been severely misrepresented on BookTube. It really has. I feel like a lot of things that they say about it that haven't read it, they just repeat verbatim what other bigger booktubers and I have said about it. And I want people to know I'm completely fine if said bigger booktubers had a different opinion on the series than I do. That's fine. They had different opinions on Lycanius, and I love Lycanius, but I feel like this is kind of getting that Lycanius treatment, where I hear so many people talking about why they won't give this series a try. And I'm like, why? And they repeat like the same talking points that they heard in those videos. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think that I want to say I can see why people don't like it, but I don't. All the criticism I hear about, I'm like, I don't see that at all. I mean, if the footnotes bother you that much, guys, you can skip them, and I think that you'll be fine. It's quite meta in the way that Kristoff himself kind of does a little self-deprecating humor about it in the 3rd book. But yeah, guys, it was completely satisfying. Mia, one of the best female protagonists I've ever read, ever. And that's not exaggeration. It's not hyperbole. It's not recency bias. Mia is awesome, and she's a character that earns everything that she gets. And I think that it was almost impossible not to root for that character along the way. So I'm very happy that I went ahead and decided to do that. And that's 4 books for Jay Kristoff now, and I've liked them all. So I think any adult books that he writes going forward, I'm definitely going to be a day one read on. I can't wait for that sequel to Empire of the Vampire for sure. But yeah, Dark Dawn, or I'm sorry, the Nevernight trilogy as a whole, I say give it a try. You just block out everything that you've heard about it. Give it a try. Make up your own mind about it. Not going to work for everyone, but I think a lot of people, I've seen similar series and they say they love them, and it's some of the same people that are saying they won't give this series a try because of what they've heard. So I hope you'll do it and make up your own mind. I think you'll find that you might actually like it quite a bit. Then I just do my 2 manga volumes this month, guys. I know if you've been waiting for me to do Berserk reviews, guys, it's just, I gotta tell you, manga just doesn't have a high priority for me on this channel. It's something that I was interested in doing because I do miss reading comics, because I feel like American comics are kind of right into the toilet a little bit. So it does feel refreshing to get some Eastern comics that are still doing a lot of things that I love to see comics doing. It's just it's the written word's always going to take priority on this channel. This is a channel mostly about novels and short stories and things like that. So not going to see a ton of manga coverage on here. So if you've been waiting for that, I do apologize, but I did get 2 more volumes in there, and it's just a totally long arc. And it's an arc I'm kind of lukewarm on in the Falcon with the Millennium Empire. So again, like I said, be careful what you guys wish for, because I might not be telling you everything that you want to hear about it, but I will get to it eventually. But there we are, guys. 5 books and 2 manga for the month. I think that I read all of the Nevernight trilogy in the same amount of time it took me to read Dragon Bone Chair, So there we are, guys. So let's go ahead and do the usual, guys. Let's talk about the book of the month. Now, this was really, really close. Really close. Like, as far as like this morning, when I was thinking about making this, I had no idea what I was going to pick. I really, really wanted to pick God's Grave, the middle book of Nevernight, because I thought it was just awesome. It was basically Spartacus Gladiator meets, just medieval fantasy. And I was very, very excited about where it was going. And I did love it. But guys, I cannot express how good The Dragon Bone Chair was by Tad Williams. All of the expectations in the world for this book, right? I mean, I talked in that video about why I decided to read it, about how this had been so many expectations set upon the series due to my brother banging the drum for 22 years about how incredible the series is, and everything else I'm reading is a waste of time because I haven't read this. And it met those expectations in every way. I wouldn't say it quite exceeded the expectations, but it did meet those expectations. I can see this as a series that, while I won't say I'm agreeing with my brother and that it's a complete ripoff of A Song of Ice and Fire, I can say that I think every fantasy author after Tad Williams, that they were reading this book and they were taking notes the whole time, because I can see stuff in every major fantasy series really directly after that. They list this as an inspiration, being like, yeah, it's quite obvious. I can see so much Robin Hobb. I can see Robert Jordan. I can definitely see George R. Martin in here. I can see a little bit of Pat Rothfuss in there. I can see all these things being influential to those authors, and I think that's in the greatest way possible. But I was just kind of completely surprised by how much I was going to enjoy it, because I got told, oh, it's so slow, it's so boring. Mike, what I know about you, you're not going to like it. Well, you don't know, apparently, because I liked it quite a bit. I never thought it was really slow. There were some sluggish parts, yeah, but never to a point where I was like, oh my God, I don't want to pick that up again. I didn't have any of that this month, guys. This was an awesome reading month. Nothing I read this month wasn't a scorcher for me. So this was a very, very tough battle, and I gotta say, Dragon Bone Chair takes it by a nose. I'm already about 6 chapters into Stone of Farewell, guys, and it is even better so far. So I'm excited about where that series is going to go. Let's just say I'm glad I haven't updated my top 10 fantasy series, because I think this one's got a real shot to end up landing on it at the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I update that video sometime this year. So book of the month, guys, Dragon Bone Chair, Tad Williams. Definitely pick it up and read it real fast. You can catch up with our read along and join us on the Discord. Let's talk about a little bit of channel growth here for this month, guys. A little bit better growth than last month. I did talk last month that it was one of the slowest months for new visitors to the channel. Well, it did kind of go up this month. We were up 756 subs from last month. We got 2,280 subscribers in January. I want to blame the holidays for December, but I'm never going to say, hey, maybe your content just wasn't that good. It's going to happen. There was a lot of Wheel of Time stuff going on in December, and if you weren't into watching that show, I can see, hey, not a lot of new people were coming to the channel. 380,000 views. That is up 34,000 from December. So again, views and watch time are what you really want to focus on as a content creator. The subscribers look nice on paper, but if you got about to hit 65,000 subscribers, and I think probably 50,000 are dormant or bots probably at this point, because like I said, I consider a really good video on this channel is when I cross about 10,000 views. So I don't know, we can discuss the bot situation some other time, but 63,000 hours of watch time, which miraculously identical to December. So that stayed the same, got a lot more views and some new subs this month. So things look like a nice little rebound there. But again, guys, this is something that I know that not a lot of people like to focus on these wrap-ups, but it's always fun to gauge if the community is still growing. And I have seen a lot of new faces show up on the Discord and stuff lately. So I'm always happy to welcome the new viewers and hope that you guys will stick around and talk to me because I love talking to you guys. Let's talk about a little bit of the most popular content for the month. Okay, the top 5, if you will. And you're going to notice, guys, that there is a theme with all of these here. Most anticipated books of 2022 that hit 17,000 views. Now, look, I know that what you're going to read is always going to be more interesting to viewers, apparently, than what you have read. So I knew that this video would be, have some interest. Didn't expect quite this much, but a lot of good feedback on there. A lot of things that I actually listed on there, I already have on the schedule. And then I remember, for example, the Justice of Kings that I put on there was something I was like, maybe if I have time, and I've already read it. I think actually when that video had went out, actually, because I recorded a little beforehand, I had recently gotten the arc and decided I was going to go ahead and read it. But yeah, fun to look at books that are coming this year. And, since then, we've had the announcement of a new Stephen King book. So here we go, guys. It's going to be an exciting year, I think. Next up, most aggressive fandoms that I've encountered. On BookTube, this one has 16,000 views. Now, I think with that title, most people were expecting me to rant on these fandoms. And I think actually I got more pushback because I wasn't nasty enough to some of these. But I want people to understand with that video is that I said many times in it that this wasn't meant that these fandoms are bad. It's just saying that these are the fandoms that have been the loudest and proudest in my comments since I've been doing this. And I think a lot of people kind of buried the lead there, is where I was saying that these people are passionate and things like that. But it was never that I thought that they were nasty fandom. And it's kind of saddening to me that I upset some Dresden Files fans that really were heartbroken to see that I had them on that list. Because look, I think Dresden Files fans are great. I was just saying they have been the most aggressive on me as far as like, hey, you missed this one tiny minor detail and you didn't talk about it. And that being the reason why I stopped doing those spoiler reviews, because people were it felt like I was doing homework and I didn't want to do that anymore. So it sucks that I feel like I hurt some of those fans, because that's definitely not what I was going for. If you listen to the whole context of that video, I tell you numerous times, I'm not saying these are bad fandoms. These are just the ones that have been, the loudest and have spoke up the most in a lot of those videos. I'm always thankful to have the Dresden Files fans here, because I'm one of them, and I'm glad that they're here. So I hope you guys will go back and watch everything that I say in that video and realize that I was never saying that the Dresden Files fans were bad. Not at all. I think Dresden Files fans are great, and I love to be a part of that community. December 2021 book haul, always one of the favorites. 13,000 views. I love to talk about them new shiny little Christmas gifts, obviously in a book haul, and a lot of the new things that I added to the library. And I'm still at a loss, guys, about what I'm going to do, because they're full. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm stacking them down here. If you could see the mess down here, you wouldn't quite think I was as organized and pretty as it makes it look like back here. But yeah, always fun to talk about the new books and how they fit on the shelf. Winter TBR update. Again, like I said, people love to hear what you're going to read. That was 11,000 views. I think with that one it was the first time I'd gotten to talk about, I got some freedom. I'm not locked into, 4 read-alongs at once. So I've got some freedom to kind of move things around a little bit. And looking back at it, I've already kind of got past it, because I didn't have me doing the 3rd Nevernight book until February, and I've already finished it. So I'm actually ahead of schedule, which, like I say about those guys, is I never take stuff off of there, but I will add things to it. I think the only time I took anything off there was Murderbot, because I read that first Murderbot book and I said, this series isn't for me, so I took those other ones off the schedule. But in most of these cases, guys, I'm going to add stuff to that, if I find myself with more reading time than I expected, and, then taking things off. So I feel like I'm pretty confident that what I talked about in there for February and March are still going to ring true. So, time will tell and see what else I could add to it. I've already decided to add a Michael J. Solomon book to it this month. So, always fun things to add in as we roll along. And then, of course, my favorite first lines in a novel or short story. That was 9,000 views, and easily, without a doubt, the most time I've spent on a video this month, because I put every single one of those quotes in a nice screen capture at the beginning. And it took quite a while, so if you haven't watched it yet, I'd appreciate if you go back and watch it. But I think it's a fun conversation to have. I've been trying to do more of these, kind of what I call off-the-wall videos, which are just topics that, you wouldn't expect me maybe to talk about. And if you look at these top 5 here, do you notice a trend here? None of them are reviews. And I've had people asking, Mike, why are you going down to 1 or sometimes 0 reviews per week? Because guys, I have the interest in these things that are not book reviews, get way more interest in things that or not. So here's what I'm doing, guys. I've listened to audience feedback. I said this a couple months ago that I was making some changes on the channel from listening to feedback, and that was one of them. Apparently, if people have not read the book, they have no interest in watching the review. I get it. I still like to look at reviews, doing them spoiler-free as a way to sell you on reading it, but I understand if people have no interest in the story, if they are not going to plan to read it at all, they have no interest in hearing me talk about it, or they want to go in completely blind. Like I said, I'm spoiler-free and out of context. You're not going to know what any of that stuff means. But again, I understand if you've got more important things that you like to watch. So I'm still never going to stop doing reviews. Hello, reviews is in the title of the channel. Never going to stop, but I have decided, like I said, no more than one review per week for that reason. But so since I didn't get very many views on my reviews this month, I want to kind of talk about a few that I really enjoyed doing this month in particular that were just reviews. Obviously, the Reaper's Gale one, Malazan number 7, that was my favorite one because I got to do the fun bit at the beginning where I was treating it like a boxing match. When I was a younger kid, I was watching Mike Tyson fights and stuff. I always said, you know what, that in WWF, I was like, I'm going to be a ring announcer one day. I think that's a job I could do. So that kind of let me live out that little childhood fantasy there. I love talking about Wayward Pines because I think that's a trilogy that anyone's going to enjoy, and I'm going to keep on banging that drum for Blake Crouch. Going to be reading Abandon here this month as well. So Blake Crouch hasn't missed with me yet, and I don't think he'll miss with you if you give that series a try. And then, of course, the Goblin trilogy, because I think that's a series that's kind of underrated. It's kind of not really people talk about it on book 2. And I think that, a lot of people that watch this channel, I feel like that's the kind of thing that they would really like. Grimdarky kind of in that first lawish way that I think that people will really enjoy that series. So I wanted to kind of put a spotlight on it, and I think Miss Anna Stevens is just one of the nicest ladies that I've met, so I wanted to kind of put some eyes on her series if I could. So I hope some people picked that up. But I've got a new category this month, guys. It's called Flop of the Month. I'm going to kind of point out my least popular video for the month. Now, I want to say up front, I'm not counting off the books or weekly updates, because weekly updates, sometimes they get 9,000 views, sometimes they get 2,000 views. Sometimes people don't care. Sometimes people are really interested in what's going on. And I don't count off the books because I'm going to not lie to you guys. Those are usually pretty unpopular around here. Most people are stay in your lane types. I watch you for book talk. I don't watch you. For me, that's a break from real life, and get to, or from books, just let you talk about what's going on in real life. Those kind of things. Other things that interest me outside of books. But again, I don't like to gauge that. So not going off of that stuff, just talking about book-related, fresh content. I was rather surprised to see this. My top 10 Wheel of Time characters. That was my least popular video this month. And now, to be fair, I didn't put it out till towards the end of the month, but I think I might have burned some of my viewers out on Wheel of Time talk. I get that. There's been so much Wheel of Time talk lately due to the new series that came out. So I get maybe people were just a little burned out from that. And that's why I don't like really to do top 10s very much, because I don't want to say it just feels lazy, but it feels lazy, Top 10s do. But it was a video I meant to make a long time ago, so I felt like it deserved to get that treatment. And I stand by those picks. I feel really good about them. But yeah, that was really surprising to me that a Wheel of Time video, which for a time, all my videos were like down here, but Wheel of Time content was always up here. So maybe the wheelies have finally forsaken me. See what I did there? Let's go ahead and talk about some channel goals for the month of February. Now we're going to hit 65,000, which is a fun little milestone. It's every 5,000 you get, it feels like you've kind of arrived at a new level. And yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Again, I don't have an end goal in sight right now, just kind of riding the wave and see what happens with growth on the channel. But I want to keep sure that the engagement for this Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn read-along has been really good on Discord. And I'm very excited about it, because it's like, doing this Malazan one, it's like so many people dropped out. It's just like it's almost crickets in those things now. It's just people who have already read the series reacting to things. There's a couple of first timers there. Like I gotta give credit to my guy Mark, one of my patrons. He's still battling strong in that, and he actually chose to read that on day one, Toll the Hounds, over reading Stone of Farewell. So hey, I give him credit to that. He is there. He is definitely a first in, last out guy. So good for him. But I love the engagement going on with the Memory Star on a Thorn one right now. Like I said, I think about 9 out of 10 people have been really satisfied with that first book. So I'm excited. I want to keep good focus on that because, channel read-alongs are fun when the participation does stay high and the engagement is high, and they are high. So jump on the Discord if you have not yet. And really just keep up this reading freedom, guys. I think this is really great. Now, like I do have a Malzahn read-along. I just saw I'm doing Memory Star on a Thorn, but, I did say I'm going to take a break on the Crichton stuff. I'm going to take a break on the Into the Multiverse stuff. Not going to abandon either. I'm just taking a break from for a while. So I have the freedom to do stuff like I did, where, I didn't plan to read that Blake Crouch book or Michael J. Sullivan this month. I didn't plan to read, the third Nevernight book last month. I didn't plan to read Justice of Kings last month. And I had the opportunity to because my schedule's open. I'm glad I'm to a point now where I can pick up unexpected stuff and not say, oh, I can't read that right now because I've already committed to this, and this. I want to make sure I can continue doing that, and I continue to listen to feedback, guys. I'm always going to listen to feedback on this channel. I want to give you guys what you want to hear, what you want to see. I want to make sure it is giving you guys what you want to see and hear, and that's why I will always listen to feedback, good or bad. I hope you'll drop me some below and let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and drop in the comments and let me know what your book of the month was for January. I always think that's a fun conversation to have. It's how I learned about some new series, honestly. So drop in the comments, guys, and I will see you there. Let's head on in to February.